Good morning. Welcome to Canning with Kate. I am Kate, and I'm so happy that you're here to join me this morning or this afternoon, whenever you are watching this video. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share. And let's get started. Today I am going to be canning up some chili. We usually like to have chili on our pantry shelf, but I went down yesterday or the day before, I don't remember when, but I realized we have none. So this is something that I really like to keep on hand. My kids love this recipe. I'm going to show you the recipe book that I'm using today. This is not coming from a typical canning cookbook. So this is not coming from Ball or anything else that is usually used for canners. This is our family's favorite recipe though, so I'm modifying it a little bit just to get it into the canner. So I will show you this book. This is a well-loved, well-used cookbook. It is here. It's a Trim Healthy Mama Cookbook. So I love this book. This is not a canning book, but you can absolutely. Hey, please stop. Sorry, I have a child in the kitchen with me. You can absolutely use some of the recipes that you just love, some of the family recipes that you might use just on a regular night. You can absolutely use some of those. Sometimes they might need to be modified, but you can can other things outside of the typical Ball book.
Really?
All right. Yes, really. So this recipe is Pearl's chili. So I have gotten all of my stuff together. The only change that I'm going to make to this recipe is that when I make it for just a family dinner, I will put some beans in the recipe. But having kids in the kitchen, right? I'm not going to put beans into my canned chili, and that's just a personal preference. You certainly can. There's nothing against canning up a regular can of chili with the beans and the meat and everything like that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm just choosing not to do that. I prefer to add my beans when I make the chili that night. So that's what I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to be doing a double batch of this recipe. I'm hoping to get 7 quart jars out of this one batch. The main recipe serves like 6 to 8. It makes enough for 6 to 8 people for a single serving. But because I'm not adding the beans, it's going to make a smaller amount, obviously. So I'm hoping that this will make about 6 quarts or 7 quarts. And if I have extra left over, then I'll just go ahead and have chili for tonight. So that's that. I also wanted to show you something yesterday that I made. I didn't make this yesterday. This is actually from July of 2022. But this is a quart of chicken. I raw packed this chicken. You can see all that chicken broth that came out of it. It's 2 pounds of chicken in here. I used this in a recipe that called for 4 cups of diced chicken. And I had this on my shelf, and this was exactly 4 cups of chicken. So I wanted to show you that this is something super simple to have on your shelf. It's like one of the easiest things that you can. You just pack a jar of raw chicken. You don't have to put any liquid in it. You can. If you do, I would put no more than like a quarter of the jar with water in it, because the raw chicken is going to produce quite a bit of its own chicken broth. And then you know that a full recipe of this will give you like 4 cups of diced or shredded chicken, and this is about 2 pounds of chicken in here. So this is just a really great, easy way to have something on hand for those nights when you are throwing something together. And then the other day I made some more pineapple, and I put syrup in it, and I have a whole bunch of simple syrup left, so I'm not going to throw this away. I'm actually going to look for canning something else, some other fruit in this. So I wanted to show you that you can save your simple syrup. If you are using it, use it within like a week, because it will start to crystallize. But I'm going to be doing that this week. soon. And then the last thing, I promise, and then I'll get to the actual cooking. These things are amazing. These are reusable lids, plastic lids that you can put on your jars when you have like jelly or juice or something else that you are just not going to use all in one go, and you put it in the fridge. Instead of using your rings and lids, you can just put these little puppies on it, and it's just fantastic. They're amazing. I got some as a gift from my mom for Christmas last year, and I had to end up getting more myself the other day because I use them all the time. And they come in the wide mouth and the regular mouth. My mom got me some really pretty colors for the wide mouth, and I don't know where she got them. I love the pretty colors, but the store did not have the pretty colors, so I had to get gray. But so those are just some little things that I wanted to share with you. Now I'm going to see, I have approximately 10 pounds of ground beef here. I'm not going to use all of that in my chili. I'm going to use 6 pounds of this for the chili for a double batch. So I'm going to go ahead and brown it up. I'm not going to cook it thoroughly. I'm just going to brown it up a little bit, and it will finish cooking once I get it into the canner. And then the rest of the beef, I'm going to probably make some sloppy joe. Not sure if I'm going to can that yet or not. Depends on how much I have left. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll bring you back when I've got that ground beef browned up. All right, see you in a minute. All right, so I am back. I have my 6 pounds of ground beef browned, not completely cooked, but even if you completely cook it, it's okay. So I have everything else chopped. So I am doing a double batch. Okay, so a regular size pot of chili would only be 3 pounds of ground beef, so I'm doubling it to 6. It would have 1 whole onion diced. I have 2. I only had red onions in my pantry, so I only am using red onions, but typically I would use a white onion or a yellow onion. So everything is going in to my pot, and I am very well aware that this pot is not large enough for everything that I'm going to be doing to it. But I'm going to be putting in probably 4 to 6 cups of water, and I'm hoping that it will be okay. The next thing, so I have my onions in there. I'm going to mix all that in. Now again, you are perfectly fine to put in regular beans in your chili. There is nothing wrong with putting beans into your chili. So it would be helpful if I turned on the heat, right? I'm choosing not to do that because I feel that if I put in beans, they would, for me, I would be putting in my previously canned beans, and then basically I would be doing a double process for those beans, and I'm afraid that it would be really like almost like refried beans, mush, and so that's why I'm not doing that. And I've always had good success with just separating the meat and the beans. And also another bonus is if you choose not to put in beans, if you just want a meat chili, it's there. So you have the ability to do both with this. All right, so I have my 2 onions chopped and ready to go. I am going to put in a whole 15 ounces of tomato sauce. And all of this is going to simmer for like 5 to 10 minutes. I am doing 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I'm not draining it. So 2 cans of these. Now, the recipe says that you can do all Rotel style tomatoes, or you can do half and half. So I'm doing half and half because I have young kids that don't like the real spice. So that's why I'm choosing to do that. But you could certainly do, if you're doubling, you would do 4 of these 10-ounce cans of the Rotel. But last time I did only the Rotel, I had 3 children not wanting to eat it. They said it was too spicy, so I learned my lesson. All right, now I'm doing the Rotel, so 2 cans of these. See how easy this is? I'm really hoping to get a full canner load. And then you can use the chili. You can have a chili salad. You can make a taco salad with this stuff. You can have chili on a cold winter day because it's looking like we're going to have a really cold winter this year. Which, being in the Midwest, is not all that unusual, honestly. But it's always nice to have chili. You can even have it on nachos. I mean, why not? Just don't put all the liquid in there, right? You just drain out the liquid and you've got amazing nachos. All right, so the next step is the seasonings. I have I should have 4 teaspoons of salt, I believe. Let me double check on that. Let's see, doubling the chili powder, so I'm doing 3 tablespoons of chili powder. I doubled the onion powder, so I have 2 teaspoons of onion powder in here. Pretty sure that I did not put enough salt. Okay, so the original recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of salt. So 1, 2, I'm doubling, makes 4, 3, 4. I tell my kids all the time that they need to know their math, because math is going to be something they use for the rest of their life, even if it's just, you know, the simple stuff. And here I am using math. Oh, life is fun. All right, so I'm just going to mix all of this up. Make sure my spices get all mixed up. Then I'm going to go ahead, and this recipe says that you can kind of adjust the amount of liquid to your taste. So if you like more soupy chili, you can put in more liquid, more water. If you like a more thick chili to put on like chips and stuff, then use less water. Just make sure that you put in enough to give it a liquid, but as I'm thinking, it's going to have enough liquid anyways. So I'm probably going to put, let's see, 6 cups of water in here. So hold on a second and I'll be right back with the water. Okay, so I ended up putting 6 cups of water, which completely fills up my stock pot, and it looks perfect to me. So for me and my family's taste, I would do 6 cups of water in this. Now I did forget to add garlic powder. Now the recipe says to do garlic powder to taste, and if you're anything like me, to taste is a very, very bad thing because I can't taste correctly, which is why I love recipes, right? They're not supposed to say to taste, but this one does for the garlic powder. So I'm just going to kind of guess and then adjust if it's not enough when I open the jars and serve it to my family. So if you are one of those amazing cooks who don't need, you know, the recipe and everything, then kudos to you. I wish I was you. You are awesome. But I am not she. I am me. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. I only had about 5 hours of sleep last night, so I'm a little bit slap happy, a little bit tired. Okay, so I put some garlic powder. It's probably not going to be enough, but that's fine. The wonderful thing about this process is that you can certainly adjust the flavors once you open your jar and serve it. We've done that many times where we've added extra salt, added extra pepper. My husband adds Tabasco to everything, so you know, whatever floats your boat. Now this is liquid aminos. This is an optional addition to your chili in this recipe. I really like it, so I'm going to add it. Okay, so this is going to simmer for approximately 5 minutes. While it is coming up to simmer, I'm going to get my my canner ready. No sleep, no sleep. Okay, so I'm gonna prep my canner. My jars are already washed and hot, so that is taken care of. I'm gonna get my canner started and get my lids and rings ready, and then I will bring you back and we'll ladle up the chili into the jars and get them into the canner. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so I have simmered my chili for about 5 minutes. I got all my jars ready. I got my lids and my rings ready. So we are ready now to ladle up the soup. Now we are going to put in the chili up to a 1-inch headspace. All right, this pot is very hot. Great. So there we go. And I'm going to try and make sure I get all of my jars evenly spread out with the chili. So I'm hoping not to have some jars too chunky and others too soupy, but it's kind of like a science experiment, I think. Who knows what will happen? As long as they taste good, as long as they seal, I'm happy. All right, so I was thinking, what are some other things that you all might want me to can? I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. And I love to try new recipes. I love to try new things. I am definitely trying to keep in mind that whatever I can, I really want my kids to eat. So sometimes that limits what I make a little bit. Other times I do things that I know just me or my husband will eat, and I just make it in, instead of a quart-sized jar, I make it in a pint jar. I do a lot of condiments in half-pint jars. I've done banana peppers that my husband just recently discovered in the pantry, and he is obsessed. He loves them on sandwiches, he loves them on wraps. So those have been a really big hit, which is good because I have a ton of them. And he and I are the only ones that will eat that. I also just canned up my first ketchup, which I am so thrilled with. I love making condiments because I know what's going in them, and it's not costing me an arm and a leg for good stuff anymore. Because, I mean, ketchup, like if you get the good stuff, you know, not just like the off-brand or the cheap Heinz, knockoffs or anything like that. You can pay up to like $6 or $8 for just a small bottle of ketchup now, which I find to be highway robbery. So that was really exciting. It took me all day, like literally all day, to make that, because you have to get all the tomatoes cooked, I guess, and then you need to puree them, and I mean, that itself takes quite a long time. And I used my blender to puree them because for me, I really like very smooth ketchup, and my immersion blender just doesn't get it smooth enough. So some of you might not mind a little bit chunkier ketchup or pasta sauce, or whatever you might make with potatoes, but I know for us it wouldn't fly. My kids need the really super smooth ketchup if they're gonna eat it. So that was fun. I do need to add some more chicken to my pantry. It's always good to take stock of what you have. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to have enough for 7 quarts, but we'll see. I might have enough for a kid to have some chili tonight, but I'm not going to be able to fill that. Yeah. Okay, so it's good to know. Okay, that's still hot. That double batch from that recipe gave me 6 full quarts of chili. Now the bonus, oh, hold on, let me get my hot rag to wipe off the rims. Be back in a sec. All right, sorry. The bonus of this is that if I choose to add in the beans at the last minute when I'm making this for a meal, this 1 quart plus another quart of beans will most likely feed my family and have leftovers. So that's what is so awesome, is that I really have 6 full meals here, and possibly a little bit more. It's always nice to be able to send my husband to the office with some leftovers, or one of my sons really loves chili, and so he'll eat this stuff all the time, all day. And it's just nice to have a little extra. Okay, so once I clean the edge of the jars, I'm telling you, my brain is not working today, y'all. All right, I'm going to put the lids on, and then the rings go on fingertip tight. And then these are going to process for 90 minutes at quarts. If you are just doing pints, you are going to be doing 75 minutes, okay? So there's that, and I'm going to put this one in the fridge for later. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to put these in the canner, let it vent for 10 minutes. Once it's venting, I'm going to put my weight on, bring it up to pressure of 10 pounds, start my timer for 90 minutes, and then once that 90 minutes has been achieved, I'm going to turn off my stove and let it come down naturally to 0 pounds pressure, and take them out and let these sit for 12 to 24 hours. And then I will have another 6 quarts of chili on my shelf. All right, so please comment. Let me know what else you are interested in me canning, and I will try and get some more meals put up. And if there's any condiments that you're interested in seeing how to can up, let me know. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day. Oh, and if you make this, show me a picture. I would love to see any of y'all's canned goods. It's so exciting to kind of start building a community. So show me your jars that you've made, and let me know what other things you are interested in seeing. All right, so have a great day.